Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hope
Good
everybody
morning.
doing all right today.
Yes.
We're gonna let everybody get in here. I'm gonna just let the music continue. Hey Siri, continue. What y'all thought about? Do y'all have anything to ask about like the notes that you took yesterday before everybody get in here?
Well, I guess I'm going to wait until you start talking about containers because I don't have land. I mean,
Okay.
we have some land down south that we're trying to clear, but right now I live with my son
Yeah,
and there's no land right here. But I just want to
I
begin
understand.
to try to grow stuff.
Today is
My
basically gonna be talking about growing in containers and raised beds. So that's what
Okay.
we're gonna go over today. But make sure y'all take notes of all the things about land, because soon as y'all come across your land, you won't have to pay nobody to try to teach you all these things and stuff too as well, because a lot of people charge you like a consult fee to be like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And if you already know what to do, you can kind of go out there once you get your land. Because it take years in process. Because like even the land that I'm working on right now, it's still like just getting to where it's supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes
Yeah.
years. I be like a lot of like we want all these things to happen when you get it, but it really takes years to kind of get it how you want it to look. It's kind of like a house, like
Yeah.
painting the house, fixing the bathroom. It's the same thing. You're gonna do your land the same way. You're gonna set
hmm
it up different ways.
So, will you have any other classes like about clearing land and
Starting from
testing?
scratch, yeah. I
Yeah,
think I need
testing
to
your
do a
land.
class
Does
like
land
that.
need to be
Yeah.
peaked and stuff like that?
Yeah, I need to start a class. I need to do a class like that to teach people how to clear their land out and start from scratch on a budget, because like it's real expensive right now with everything being so high and stuff. But we're gonna give everybody like one more minute to get in, and then we'll go
Okay.
from there. But I feel like when you got land like to clear, you can hit different people up. You can hit a sawmill up if you got hardwood to sell the wood, or you can sell the pine if it's good pine, or you can use the wood to rebuild your house. I just had an argument with a guy under my comment about that. I was telling him how valuable land is. It's like, okay, if you got a wooded lot that's all hard wooded, you can go in there and clear it out and take the wood and build your houses. You can build your floors. You can build everything with the wood. If you
Right.
just take it to a sawmill, you'll come out cheaper than going to Lowe's. Cause see, when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you just buy what the sawmill sold to them.
Did
And
you clear your own land or it was
it
already
was
cleared?
already cleared. It was already cleared. But it's some land that I'm trying to get, and I know I'm gonna have to clear it. But if you good with equipment, it's best to like rent out some equipment, and then go in there and clear it out yourself. Compare, because somebody gonna end up charging you at least 6,000 an acre to clear it. So you might as well
So,
just rent the equipment out if somebody know how to work equipment around, and
uh-huh.
just go in there and do it yourself. You'll come out a little cheaper.
So my grandfather left a lot of land and some of it my cousins have. My mother left us an acre, my other cousin has some. So I did
Hello? I'm breaking up. Oh, all right. Hello?
off the land and then they would survey the land and cut the trees down. I mean, I know we would still have to go in and dig up the roots and stuff, but we're just seeing what our different options are right now.
Yeah, everybody got this. Welcome, welcome. Okay, guys, let's get it started. We're gonna start off. Today's class is day 2, so we're gonna start off where to plant your garden. So this is basically kind of really revolves around container gardens and stuff, because why people have like a lack of space and what they have lack of sunlight and stuff like that. So they have to find out where to put their plants at. So the best place to do is everybody know what the sun rise in the east, right? So you want to make sure your plants is like facing towards the east of your balcony or your porch, where it gets the most sunlight. But all right, so we're gonna start off like this. So write this, guys. This is gonna help y'all out. 7 things considering starting a new garden. So the number one thing is sunlight exposure. So you want at least 6 hours of sunlight per day, just in case you want to get at least 8 hours of sunlight. Some things like broccoli and lettuce and spinach and others tolerate being in partially shaded areas. And then the number 2 thing that you want to know is your water. Be sure water is nearby. You want to make sure you got water available that you can feed your plants, because like some days it's going to get hot and it's not going to rain for a couple of days. Some people in areas that it maybe don't rain for 200 days. I was just talking to a guy. It don't rain for like, 6-7 months at a time in the area that he live at in Arizona. So they have to water a little bit more. And I'm going to get into that too later on, teaching y'all when to water your plants and stuff like that. And number 3 is you want to always protect it from like wind and stuff like that. And the things that you want to protect from wind is like your tomatoes, your peppers, and your beans. And why? Because you remember yesterday I told you they trellis up, and you don't want like the wind to be like blowing them real hard. So things to kind of like plant in between them, you can kind of put corn. But if you're doing like a patio garden, like you need to just make sure it's in an area that it's not blowing too hard, but still get a whole bunch of sunlight. Because some parts of your house, you might walk and it's just wind on that side. And then you walk on the other side, it really ain't no wind. So, you need to find which area what don't have like some crazy high winds. Because some of y'all might go get little bitty greenhouses and stuff. Let me go ahead and put that out there. If you plan on buying like a little bitty mini greenhouse off of Amazon that you looked at, you want to make sure that thing is tied down to the ground, because the wind will come blow it over. And a lot of new gardeners always start off with a little bitty mini greenhouse. Even me, I have. I ordered one off of Amazon, put it up, and it blew over, and the snow crashed through it. And then basically I had to teach myself to be like, okay, this is where I need to put it at. This is how I need to tie it to the ground. And then you want to make sure, number 4 is your soil quality. You want to make sure you got good soil quality. And what I mean by soil quality is like, go get you a soil test. Like I say, you can order a soil test kit online and you test your soil. And number 5, if you like doing like outside using like the ground, I want you to use like a level slope. You don't want to use an area that is not level, because like when the rain comes, you're gonna have like rain just gonna sit in the area where it's not leveled at, and then they'll like kill your plants and stuff like that. And then you want to make sure you got a good microclimate, guys, for number 6. I'm sorry, y'all. Number 6, you want to make sure you got a great microclimate. So, you want to make sure you got shade for shady plants. And you want to make sure you got hot plants for a lot of hot plants. And then
what does that mean?
Like basically
Hot.
like hot, you want to make sure you got hot sun for warm plants. Sorry. And
Okay.
and then the number 7 thing is effort, guys. Everything that I just named on this list, you have to have effort to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have effort to tear up your grass and your topsoil, dig up large rocks and roots. And you're going to have effort to build your raised beds. And then, it's just the approach every day. So a lot of people start gardens, but they don't do none of these things. And you have to put effort in everything that I just named, and everything will come out good for you. So let's get over to like containers, guys. I'm gonna skip over a lot of things because we got a lot of people in here want to know about containers and stuff like this. So we gonna go over to gardening methods for containers and raised beds. So that's what we're gonna talk So we're gonna knock out raised beds and containers at the same time, guys, to make it easier. So I'm gonna teach y'all about both. And I grow in like fabric raised beds, guys. And the reason why I use fabric raised beds is because they are mobile. Like they are very easy to move, you know. And some people use wood raised beds in their backyards or on their patio or whatever. But I use fabric because like if I don't want it there no more, I can end up moving it. And you can also put living soil inside of these fabric pots and stuff like that. And I'm gonna explain the difference between the wood and the fabric, okay, guys? And you can also
What is living soil?
you say what now?
What is living soil?
Okay, I'm gonna break down living soil. So basically, living soil is like soil that's got like microbes in it, and basically your raised beds, you want to put sticks at the bottom of it. You want to put like mulch at the bottom of it, and then you want to put a layer of like worms, and then they'll decompose and break all down throughout the years, and you'll never have to add soil to it because all leaves and all trees are as number like what we was talking about. Oh no, I wasn't talking about. It was in another meme. Basically, like when everything just decompose and break down, it just composts on its own. So that's how you make living soil, by building like raised beds with mulch, with tree leaves, but you want to make sure all of this stuff at the bottom, and then you come in and put some topsoil on it, and then everything at the bottom will break down on its own. So I really want everybody to know that before we get into the raised bed and the container, because you really got to mix your soil correctly. So okay, so the best places, I feel like it's different ways to do another. It's different ways. I got this written down too, because this person about to do a class on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it to y'all right now because a lot of y'all want to grow out of containers. Say if you don't have containers, guys, you can grow out of straw bales. Okay, so basically, I mean like a straw bale, like you can buy a bale of straw, and then you can put soil in it, and then you can also put your transplants in it. What we was talking about yesterday. Yesterday we had a class about transplanting and seedlings. So you can put your transplants inside of the hay, and they'll grow. You can grow watermelon, you can grow cantaloupe, you can grow everything in just like a bale of hay. If you don't have like pots and stuff like that. So that's another thing, another way that you can grow without using pots and stuff. And the best thing about using like straw bale hay, I actually give it like nutrients and stuff. So because I even put straw around my garden and stuff. Like once the plants start growing up, I just go out and put straw around the garden to keep the weeds down, but it end up like decomposing and breaking down and turning back into like living soil to the ground and stuff like that. So that's the beauty of like kind of doing like a straw bale garden, and it's actually mobile. It's easy to kind of move. And the thing is with container gardens, the reason why like I think a lot of people are asking questions about container gardens that's in this group is because why you don't have like a plot and stuff like that, right? You don't have like a big piece of property and stuff like that. So the best thing for you to have is like grow bags. What I was just telling you about, fabric grow pots and stuff. Here, let me show y'all. Dang. I thought I had some fabric pots in here, but I don't have none in here with me. But yeah, get the fabric pots. You want to make sure you got fabric pots, and you want to make sure you got like, they got these little vertical things you can use. Like basically, you know, things that we used to put our shoes in on our doors back in the days or something like that on the back of you. Some people still use it, but you can grow in those. You can put soil inside of it, poke holes in the bottom of it, you know, up under it, and then you can put soil in it, and then you can grow lettuce up on that, like hanging on your door outside. So you can grow food like that, but you want to always make sure where to get 6 hours of sunlight and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go over different things that you can plant with besides a pot And then I'm gonna let y'all ask me all kind of questions about pots and stuff like that. I just want to
Okay.
give y'all ideas of things that you can grow besides using pots, because you maybe run out of pots, right? And you can go get you a hanging basket. And guess what you can grow in the hanging baskets? You can grow your herbs inside of the hanging baskets, because they like to be like in a shady area, and hanging baskets usually be like what, in a shady area. And you can grow your cherry tomatoes. And you remember yesterday I said what, you got to have a trellis for cherry tomato, but you don't if you put it inside of a basket, because all it's gonna do is vine out and it'll just hang up. So you can hang up the cherry basket and you'll be able to come get the tomatoes off of them. So you can put tomatoes that are indeterminate inside of baskets, like regular flower baskets. And I like to grow strawberries in baskets. I do that. I grow strawberries in hanging baskets, and then I put them out for sale and sell them to like local people, and they love it. And they grow great too. So that's another way you can grow like your strawberries, and you can grow your cherry tomatoes, and you can grow your herbs in hanging baskets. All right. Do anybody want to ask some questions about that?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And are you going to tell us where we can get like these cloth bags and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get my bags. If y'all got time, I can run to my truck real quick, but here, let me run down. All right, so these are fabric pots.
Okay.
All right. See, they mobile. You can wash them. You can fold them up. See, they easy to storage, because I hate plastic pots. Like, they get piled up everywhere. So you can fold these up. If you want to be done with them, put them somewhere, storage. And
So you can get those at Home Depot?
you can get these at write the website down. This is the website. Grassroots, like GRASS roots, ROOTS, fabric pots, FABRIC pots, POTS.com.
Oh, okay.
And they got like different ones. You can get 3 gallons, 5 gallons, 7. It goes all the way up to 600 gallons. And I think y'all just need to get. I feel like if you really want to use your pots to grow a lot of stuff, you can get between 5 and 10, but I'll go with a 10 gallon. This is a 5 gallon, so you can do a lot with 5 gallons and stuff. But, if I was go ahead.
Do you think just starting out, like, because I don't want to, I want to start small, because like I said, I'm literally living in a room at my son's house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, eventually we're going to move to a bigger house, there's like out back. So at this time of year in Georgia, like, what could I start growing?
This time in Georgia, your plant zone, you have to look up your plant zone. And I think the things to start planting kind of going into Georgia now is like warm crops, because it's about to get real hot. You know what I'm saying? So things that you can grow is like tomatoes. I grow tomatoes in here. I grow all kind of tomatoes in these things.
Can I grow strawberries in there?
Yeah, you can grow strawberries in these too. And I grow strawberries in them. I don't did a test on everything. I don't grew hemp in these. I don't grew squash in them. I grew flowers in them. So those are the things that I grew in these, and they very easy to pick up, like once you fill it up, they easy to pick up. See, one thing about plastic pots, guys, they break down. Like when the sun hit them, they lose color, and then they'll just like crumble up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best thing about these. Like, you're going to get your money's worth, because you can have them for the rest of your life. You can kind of pass them to the next generation. And then they get more air. Your root system get more airflow when you grow in a fabric pot. And it makes the root system thrive and make the plants grow. And then when they're in a plastic pot, you know, like I said, get real hot and then they'll dry out the root system. So that's
So this area is 7B and 8A.
Okay, so you kind of where I'm at. I'm in like 7A. So like, yeah, you can start transplanting stuff like squash, zucchini, bell peppers, anything really that's like warm season crop that you like, cucumbers, corn, cabbage, all that stuff. You can start transplanting all that stuff outside right now.
But when you say transplanting, I haven't started even growing it. So like, how do I transplant something I haven't grown yet?
Oh, if you haven't grown it, you can just go buy the starters from Lowe's or Home Depot.
Like the seeds, you mean?
Like you can buy the seedlings, like the plants, the transplants.
They
might have like
a six.
They might have like a 6 tray, and you can just go buy from them.
And how many do you put in like a 5 pound?
A 5 gallon.
5 gallon, whatever you said.
I feel like in a 5 gallon is one plant. You know, that's why I say I feel like.
Oh, for one plant?
Yeah, one plant for 5 gallons.
Okay.
So you can get
but
one.
But if I got a 10 gallon, then I could put 2 in there.
Yeah, if you got a 2, but I feel like it depends on like pepper plants. You can put maybe like in a 10 gallon, you can put like 3 pepper plants in there. But I feel like tomatoes want their own space. Herbs, you can put a lot of herbs in here, you know, like different type of herbs because they grow. You can put probably maybe 2 to 3 lettuce in here, you know, so you can get.
So the book that we get with the class, and then I'm going to shut up because I know I talk a lot.
No, you're probably helping everybody else out. Some people don't like to ask questions, you know.
The book that we get with the class, that's going to supplement what we're already learning, right?
Yes, exactly. Because like I'm just telling y'all what to get. The book telling you more of like, okay, he told me about this, but he didn't mention nothing about pest control, none of this stuff, because it's in the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like people ask those questions, but these are the main questions people ask is like container, raised beds, where should I put my garden at? You know, because they don't even know where to start off at, you know, and know where to go get their plants from. So that's why I was saying everything that you asking is very good because like, you know, a lot of people don't know where to go get their plants from because they never went and shopped for the plants and stuff like that. But
I'm excited.
If you late, you know, you don't have to really get seeds right now. Just go get you some transplants. And then for your fall garden, you can get the seeds and just save them. And then when fall time comes, you can rotate everything, you know, into pots. But I feel like you can grow a lot in pots, man. You can grow a lot in this. You can cut the top. You can make this into a garden. You can cut the top off and you can put dirt in it, put holes at the bottom. And then you can grow flowers or whatever up out of this. So it's like you can use a 1 gallon jug. You can cut a 1 gallon jug off like this. You can cut the jug off. You can cut the jug off like this, like right here. Draw a line, cut the jug off. Don't cut it all the way off. And then you just fill it up with dirt. This is how I used to start my seeds when I first got into gardening because I didn't have a greenhouse. Because I used to grow in pots and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know. I tell people like, hey man, I started growing in pots and I started with a 20-foot growing space, you know, and I had to figure it out, you know, and these were all these ideas come from. I cut this open, filled this up with dirt, and then you close it down and it turns into a greenhouse. So it'll germinate all your.
Okay, so you put the top back on it.
Yeah. So basically, like you don't cut the whole thing off. You kind of just
like a flip,
Yeah, like a flip. Yep. And it turns into a little greenhouse, and you just fill it up with dirt, and then you put all your seeds in there. And then when you put all your seeds in there, it'll grow, and then you just pull them all out, and then you put them in your pots where they can grow into bigger space. You know what I'm saying?
Now that you leave that outside or what?
Yeah, you can leave it outside. Even during the winter time, even with snow, you can still grow like this because it just feel like it's a greenhouse. you know.
And you keep the screw top on top?
Yep, you keep the screw top on top. If you feel that's when you germinating, you keep the top on, and germinating is like you basically sprouting the seeds, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it takes some seeds 3 to 4 days to germinate. And this keep moist. Right. That's the best thing. You have to make sure your soil is moist when you germinate your seeds, even when you transplant your seeds and stuff. So guys, take this note: when you transplant your seed in your pots, you want to make sure they are fed with water. So okay, so say if I just bought some transplants, right? Here go my pot. I fill up the pot. Boom. I'm gonna open up the thing like this. I'm gonna put a compost down at the bottom. So you can go buy something called it's a big thing that's called cow at Lowe's, and it's got a big old cow on it. And then you put a little bit of that at the bottom. And then you'll go get some regular soil. You know, you can get any topsoil, let's say garden soil, and you can put a layer of that. And then you just water it very well. You want to soak it very well. And then you want to put your plant inside, and then you soak it again. So that's how you transplant, you know.
Do you use mulch in those too?
Yeah, you can use mulch at the bottom. But I don't like to put that much mulch in it. I'll probably put about this much mulch right here.
Okay.
Kind of right here at the bottom. But if I use the raised bed, I put like almost a foot of mulch, because the raised bed is like 2 feet. So I'll put like a foot of mulch, and then I'll put the rest compost and soil. So that's what I do. And I think these are best to use for like newbies, guys. I'm telling you. Just because it's mobile, you know, like you said, you might want to move down to your land.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. I'm taking these with me. You know, it's easy to move, you know, instead of like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to stack all these pots up. And you got to stack all these pots up because you became a hoarder. Because once you start growing, you're gonna start hoarding. You're going to be like, dang, I got 1,000 pots, man. Because I had at least 1,000. I probably had 10,000 pots. Seriously, just hoarding a bunch of pots. And I feel like these are better to hoarder because, you know, you can storage them in your house if you're not using them, or, you know, you can be like, oh, shoot, I'm about to move. Let me take these pots. I can dump all this soil out, and then you can take the pots with you. So it's just way easy to do. And if y'all want me to explain how to transplant one more time and what to put in there, I can do that again.
Yes.
All right, so basically you want to make sure you put it's some stuff that's called cow manure. You want to put it at the bottom. And then you want to put anything that just say garden soil at the top. And then you want to water it down very well, because while you don't want to transplant something and it stress out, imagine somebody taking you and don't give you no water and put you outside in the desert. You know what I'm saying? That's how the plant's gonna feel. So you want to make sure the soil is wet, and then when you transplant the plant inside of it, you want to make sure it's in the middle of it, and you want to always make sure you bury your tomatoes. So I know everybody probably in here, that's probably like the number one thing they're gonna will plant is a tomato. So you want to bury your tomato all the way to the bottom, because a tomato, it make like other tomatoes if you don't bury it other plants. It basically turn into like 5 plants at one time. And I'm gonna teach y'all about that. Like I basically, let me just go ahead and tell y'all now. This is a real important note. You got the indeterminate tomatoes, right? You prune those. All right. So you might have, this is the tomato, right? I'm the tomato, right? I'm the tomato. Here go my hair right here, right? And here go my limbs, right? And here go the tomatoes right here on my limb. And then you're going to have these little pieces up under the tomatoes. So this is the main plant. This is the tomato arm with the fruit on it. And then you're going to have this little bitty, we just call it, we snip those off. And once you snip those off, it makes the plant thrive and grow higher. And the reason why you have to snip those off is because it's taking all the energy away from your plant.
But what do you do with them after you snip them off?
Oh, you can throw them away, or you can make more plants.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually can clone them, you know, so it basically could turn into another tomato plant. And the reason why you cutting it off is because like the tomatoes get so heavy for having too many arms. You know what I'm saying? Imagine walking around with a bunch of arms. You just gonna be wiggly, you know, so so you want to make sure you prune them back. So you go in and always prune up under the armpit. I call it the armpit. You know, because it looked like an arm. It's like a tomato, then it's an arm, and then it's like an armpit, and it shoot out like another plant, and you just cut it off. And you only do that on indeterminate plants. And the determined plants, you don't do that. You just cut the bottom. You just cut the bottom off. And these are problems you're going to have growing in the pot. And a lot of y'all going to hit me up. You're going to be like, man, my tomato plant turning yellow. The reason why your tomato plant turning yellow, it can be like three things. It can be because you got lack of water, or it can be because you're not trimming the leaves off of it, and when the rain come, it bounce all up on the leaves and it turns it into like this fungus, brownish yellow look. And the third thing is it can be root rot. It can be a lot of things. It can be that too as well. So that's the thing about growing these plants. You will have to learn how they grow in their condition and in their area and stuff like that. And then I want y'all to know about crop rotations too, man. Like it goes to what I was saying, like when y'all go get y'all transplants, y'all will plant another garden in the winter, in the fall time. So you need to know how to rotate your crops. And that's also in my book too, the book that I that y'all download. It's a chart in the book. It'll teach you how to rotate your crops. It'll teach you how to it'll say companion farming, and it's a chart down at the book, and you can look at it, and it'll tell you everything that you plant next to each other, and everything that you plant next to each other, that's what you plant. You can plant those things after that plant, because you can't plant okra and sweet potatoes in the same spot. You can't do that because it'll give it different type of disease. It'll give it different type of pests. You can't put squash where potatoes been. You know what I'm saying? You got to put like onions and tomatoes together. Because why? Onions and tomatoes good for like nitrogen, and it's also good for like pest control. You can put tomatoes and dill, because dill keep away the pests from the tomato. So like you have to figure out everything that benefit each other to rotate it. You know, so when you done growing that, you need to be planting this in your pots to make sure the pest is out of it, to make sure the fungus, you just planting other stuff to fix the soil. That's what you're doing. You fixing your soil. And that's one reason why farmers are lacking today in the whole world. That's why we have that's part of the food shortage that people don't really know about in farming right now, is because a lot of farmers don't rotate their crops. So a lot of farmers been losing their crops because they've been growing commercially. They'll just grow one crop. That's why when y'all driving down the street, you just see one crop in the field. That's bad for the earth. You really need multiple crops in the field, because like even if you look outside your window, it's multiple trees growing next to each other. You know, you got an oak tree, pine tree, a locust tree, a dogwood tree. You know, I can keep going on. You got several trees growing next to each other with no problem. You know, but the way people farm now, they not rotating their crops. And reason why I'm telling y'all this, because if one day y'all decide to grow on a big piece of property, you want to think about your family for hundreds of years. You know what I'm saying? For they can have land to grow on. So it's like you need to rotate your crops for your grandkids or your greats or whoever can have the land. Because if you wear the ground out, they won't be able to grow on it. They won't be able to farm on it. So that's the most important thing, is rotating your crops. And I feel like raised beds are better than containers, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. I feel like the raised beds are better is because you can grow more stuff. That's all the reason why it's better. But I feel like the containers are good for people who got apartments and balconies or just a smaller deck and stuff like that. Because like I say, on your deck, you can really deck it out. You can go to Lowe's and get you like a shelf or something like that. You can just get you a utility shelf, and then you can just start putting all your plants on the utility shelf to grow. But if you know the plants that's gonna grow up real tall, don't put them on the utility shelf. Put like your herbs and stuff on like the utility shelves and stuff like that, and you can use it. Anybody else have some questions? Hello?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So when you are planting, we have to use compost and topsoil. What happens if you just had compost and like compost on top and it was just like some older soil at the bottom?
Yeah, you can do either or. The only reason why, because see, compost and soil is totally two different. See, compost is leaves and mulch that's broke down, and soil is just rocks. That's all it is. It's just rocks that's just decomposed and broke down. So you have to mix both of them together to bring living soil and stuff like that. That's why you maybe see some farmers will go through with mulch and mulch out their whole field because they just trying to add natural amendments to the ground that is missing.
Okay, because I bought some soil 3. It's a humus compost.
Yeah. And
So you have to use that and a topsoil.
Yeah, and topsoil.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to use both. Cause see, when I first started, I thought both of them was the same thing, but it ain't. You know, I thought it was. I was like, oh, they look alike. You know, if you look at the soil, you look at the compost, you like, oh man, they both look alike, but they really ain't. Like both of them have two types of minerals that it need to help the plant to grow, to thrive. Anybody else have any more questions?
Okay. I was gonna ask, is there any topsoil brand that you recommend?
I always get my topsoil from a nursery. It's so hard because I haven't been in a long time, but all right, this is what I recommend. I think if you're a beginner, use Pro Mix. It's something called Pro Mix, right? So basically I get compost and then I mix it with Pro Mix. And the reason why I say choose Pro Mix because it's already mixed for you. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of like help you out when you like a rookie, you know, and it got the peat moss in it, and it already got like the white pellets. It's gonna be like some white pellets in it, but it help you out to keep your soil to breathe and stuff like that. And then once you kind of like start learning from that, you'll be like, oh man, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. You're gonna figure out so many ways and so many soil brands that you can start taking advantage of. But I feel like go with the Pro Mix first and then use some compost. But if you're using like big projects like me, you go to a nursery and you get scoops. You know what I'm saying? And you actually save more money getting scoops. You know what I'm saying? Because like you think about it, you go get a scoop for $35, right? And that's probably like 9 bags, and you probably would have paid probably almost $85 for 9 bags. Depends on what brand that you get. You know what I'm saying? So like it's best to go get a scoop if you're gonna be doing a lot of stuff like that. If you got a truck, you just put it all on the back of your truck and you'll come out cheaper and mix it all up yourself. Any more questions?
How far are you from Columbia, South Carolina?
5 hours and a half.
Okay.
I think I'm 5 hours in. Hold on, Columbia.
Okay,
I'm 5 and a half. I just came from Columbia like 3 months ago. Yeah, I'm 5 and a half.
Okay.
Y'all got them good seafood and Jamaican restaurants, man. Well, I was out there in Somerville. Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
I'm trying to actually move out that way and get a farm going too one day.
Okay. Do you come out there often?
I don't though, but I be trying to get out that way a lot. I got a project. I gotta go down that way. Me and this other guy about to collab together. Cause like I live in the mountains, so I'm about to start growing fruit trees in South Carolina.
Okay.
Before I can start shipping them out in different areas and stuff like that. And he already had the land and the setup, but you know, I'm gonna come in with the operation and the sales and stuff. So I think we're gonna probably be like kind of, you know what Acme at? It's kind of it's kind of like right down in there. That's where we're gonna have a farm down in that area.
Okay, perfect. Now I can come visit.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else have any more questions? Well, I guess that's it. Yeah, tomorrow, guys, we're gonna be covering. Well, go ahead. If anybody got any more container stuff that I don't feel like I touched, just ask me. Hello? Hello? Yo, y'all hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow, this is what I'm gonna do. Since everybody want to know about soil, I'm gonna write down every kind of soil I feel like that you should use and how to mix it. Like that's what we're gonna go over tomorrow. Like what soil to get, how to mix it. Like we talked about it, but I feel like it need to be more detailed. A percentage wise, like y'all need to know the percentage of like how to mix it and stuff like that. Okay, you said that'll help. That's cool. Yeah, and I think that'll help a lot of people out. And I'm gonna break down where to get it from. Like I'm gonna search for y'all because like all of us got different areas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just go off of like, okay, say if I went to Lowe's, you know, and I'm gonna break down all the stuff at Lowe's, what you need to get and how much you about to spend, you know what I'm saying, coming out of Lowe's. I want y'all to know that, you know, so that'll be broke down in good details tomorrow. And then I break down the cubic yards. So y'all need to learn about the cubic yards. Like, you know, if we dumping this per square feet, I need 4 bags per every 16 feet or something. You know, like I'm gonna break all that down to y'all. Because and then I'm gonna show y'all a plant calculator too. Write this down, guys. Midwest plant calculator. I want y'all to write that down. That's like one of my #1 tools that helped me out is a plant calculator. So like basically you go on this website, right? And you type in your footage. So if I got like 100 square feet, I put 100 square feet. Or they got another one if you want to put like 10 by 40, I write 10 by 40. And it'll tell you how many plants that you can plant in that much square feet of space. So that's one thing people need to learn too is like how many seeds they need to plant before they start planting them. Okay, you can go ahead. Somebody about to say something. Okay. But you want to know all of that before you do anything. So get with that plant calculator. It'll help you out big times. Any more questions? Is there anything that y'all feel like y'all need to know about? That you feel like that I just left out? Something that you always seen and just like, I want to ask a question about that. Because I know a lot of us like that. We see some, but we maybe might not ask a question about it because it might come off as dumb to some people in the group or a garden community or something. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's the time to really ask. Well, all right then. Well, that seemed like that'll wrap everything up, guys. I hope this class is helping you all out. I hope y'all.
It is. Yeah.
Hope y'all learning as much as you can. I'm trying to be.
We hope.
Hello. I'm trying to break it down as best as I can because I know I'm tilling up land and using land. You know, but I do have experience at using raised beds, and I do have experience of growing out of pots. Like I said, that's where I come from. You have to start from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Just in 2014, I was growing in my backyard on the deck. You know, and then fast forward the tape, it took all the way to 2020 to actually, you know, start working on like bigger projects and stuff like that. So like all the other projects was more just like off of, you know, little bitty space and stuff like that. But I feel like you only really need 2 plants per family. 2 plants per family will grow a lot. All right. So you think about it. If you grow like 1 potato, you're going to get 5 plants out of one potato. If you grow 1 tomato, you're gonna probably get about 10 to 15 pounds. You know, if you grow 1 zucchini, you're gonna get probably about between 10 to 10 some pounds too as well. So like you have to know all those things. Like, man, how many pounds I'm trying to harvest for my family? You know, like right now I'm trying to figure out how many chickens we need to survive. Because I'm about to basically add chickens and slaughter our chickens and stuff like that. Like, and I think I came up with at least 160 days of chicken, so I need to get like 160 birds and stuff. Because once I slaughter them up, they're gonna turn into like, you know, like they gonna multiply and like other stuff, wing, you know, like not wings, your breasts, your thighs, and all that. It's gonna turn to more different food. Because we already have beef, you know, saved, and we're gonna do goat too as well. But I feel like finding out what you need for you to survive is the most important thing. And that's what this lesson was all about today is like kind of start small. You know, don't rush to be real big. You know, start off with 3 or 4 plants and then go from there. That's how I feel. If you just like I did jump in it hard headed, I no lie, but I lost a lot of money. You know, but it was kind of fun at the same time. It was just like, oh man, I want to plant more cucumbers. I want to plant more. You just continue starting to plant more stuff, you know, like, so you kind of got to like have patience, guys, and, you know, grow what you can take care of because you'll end up having more rotten food than what you can have. For real. I don't have like thousands of pounds of rotten food that I didn't sell or I just overgrew and stuff. Now I don't do that. Now I'd be like, okay, we're gonna grow for 100 people, so we need to have 200 plants per family. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got it estimated up. But I usually be like, I'm going 1,000 tomatoes, 1,000 bell peppers, 1,000 onions, and then when harvest season comes, wow, I got all this stuff. I can't even can it or save it. You know, so it's like you have to think about what you're gonna do before you grow it, because it definitely will pile up on you. Any more questions? That's it, guys. Well, all right then, y'all take it easy, man. I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right, one love, y'all. All right.